she didn't possess. More importantly, it required a sacrifice she wasn't willing to make herself. That was the thing about time. One could never mess with it without paying a price. Father Time had made that an unbreakable law.
"I can perform the time-pausing spell," Wizard said, turning to the shelf at his back.
It was filled with multiple clear jars of thick liquid. Each container was inhabited by a different reptile that was preserved for various spells or one of the warlock's meals. Mephora Payne sighed, annoyed by all the slow pretenses.
"Will you do the spell for me?"
"At a price," Wizard said plainly, inspecting the various jars. His narrow eyes paused on one with a small iguana suspended inside it.
"What is your price?"
Mephora asked, looking around at the drab shop filled with various potion ingredients.
"I can loan you a witch to clean this place up."
He turned back to her, shaking his head.
"I don't want labor this time. I don't want magic or power. What I want is quite simple."
Another huff fell from her cracked lips.
"Well, what is it then? I'm not playing a guessing game with you, and I'm running out of time and completely out of patience." "I want money," he answered, looking down at her. "And you know my price. I want double that for this."
Mephora Payne peeled back with surprise and offense.
"You know I don't have that kind of money. I'm a witch. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth like magicians."
He chuckled at this, his blackened pointy teeth showing.
"Yes, we aren't known for our wealth or our looks. That's the product of living in the gutters and hiding in the shadows." "How do you expect me to find that kind of money?"
she asked, putting her hands on her hips, officially offended by his bold ask. The warlock had always bartered with her, taking trades in exchange for services. She knew his price, but she'd never paid it. She never could. The wizard shrugged his bony shoulders and held up his pale hands.
"That's not my concern, Mephora. What you're asking me to do will turn me into a monster." "You're already a monster," she exclaimed,
her face hot with anger. He laughed again, this time seeming amused by her outburst.
"You haven't seen anything yet. To pause time, I'll have to give up my humanity. The only thing that will suffice for payment is money. If I have to look like a demon of sorts, then I will be at least comfortable."
Mephora gritted her teeth together, trying to think of how to find that kind of money. The wizard was right, though. To perform the time manipulation, he'd become something disgusting, even by witches' standards. The warlock would probably have to close his potion shop because no one would come near him. He'd have to go into solitude. He wasn't wrong to want money in return for such a thing, but finding it would require something drastic. The wizard pushed the book back in Mephora's direction.
"Pay me the money, and I'll do the spell. It will take practice and time." "But you can do it?"
Mephora asked, considering him. He nodded, a pure look of evil in his black eyes.
"Of course, there will be some trial and error, but in the end, I will pause time for all magicians. What you do to them, well, that's on your hands. Mine, at that point, will be deformed."
Mephora Payne picked up the book, the timestamp, and sighed. She'd have to do something that she wouldn't have dared in previous years. The witches of Los Angeles hid, knowing that the House of 14 would eradicate them if they got out of control. But the time to stay in the shadows was over. It was time for the black magic market to expand. It was time that the secret bazaar went into overdrive, increasing sales and therefore profits. The market had stayed small so that it could stay hidden and didn't get shut down. But she needed money, and that was the way she'd get it.
"I'll pay your price,"
Mephora Payne said, turning for the door. She looked over her shoulder at the warlock.
"Say goodbye to your humanity, because soon you'll perform this spell, and time will pause for all magicians. And when they come to..."